Hi, this is Infotainment TV for you, and we are back with more of knowledge. Today, we are going to roam around India's first World Heritage City, Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad is the former capital of Gujarat state of India, located at the bank of river Sabarmati. We are beginning our journey at dawn and heading towards the Shahibag area of Ahmedabad to visit the largest dome of Gujarat, Darya Khan's Gummad. It is the tomb of Darya Khan, a talented nobleman and advisor of the most prominent Sultan of Gujarat, Mahmud Shah I or Mahmud Begda. This is the only structure built by baked bricks in 1453. The monument is made up of large central dome surrounded by 16 small domes. Each side of the building has 5 entrances. The central part shows the tomb of Darya Khan, his son, and followers. Lacking the intricate carvings, this Turco-Persian architecture is merely an example of simplicity. Waving goodbye to the memorial, now we are advancing towards other landmarks. We are getting this divinely beautiful view of Swaminarayan Temple of Shahibag on our way. We are now passing by the Namaste circle. The two folding hands indicates the Sanskrit phrase Namaste, which means I bow to you. We have now arrived to Hatti Singh Temple. It is well known as Hatti Singh Derasar and is affiliated with Jainism. Entering this pious place brings to you a pleasant and calming atmosphere. This spiritual structure was constructed in 1848 by architect Premchand Salat. Seth Hatti Singh Kesar Singh was a wealthy Ahmedabad trader who was the original planner of this place. After his demise, the building was supervised and completed by his wife Sethani Harkuvar. The premises of the temple has a unique and gorgeously carved column of honor called Manastambha or Kirtistambha. We can see devotees performing circumambulation or pradakshina of the holy stamp. The temple was built during a severe famine in Gujarat, which gave employment to hundreds of skilled artisans for over a period of 2 years. Apart from temple's spectacular colonnade, exquisite carvings, assimilative explorations, and rich architectural value, it is also known for its rainwater harvesting. Pulling ourselves out of the Derasar, we are viewing one of the 21 gates of Ahmedabad, Delhi Gate, or locally known as Delhi Darwaja. This gateway of 3 stone arches was formerly called Edario Gate. The 2 small gates on either side of the main gateway were built in 1878 for foot passengers. After a few minutes drive from Delhi Darwaja, we ran into Rani Rukmati Mosque in Mirzapur area of Ahmedabad. Ingressing ourselves inside the mosque gives the very first sight of this charming sacred establishment. The mosque is made up of high central arch, 3 imposing domes and slim minarets which were broken short in 1819's Run of Kutch earthquake. This mosque and tomb complex was built by Mahmud Begda in the name of his queen Rani Rupmati in later years of 1430 to 1440. Rani Rupmati was also known as Rup Manjari because of her magnificent looks. She was princess of Tar and she remarried her brother-in-law Mahmud Begda after the death of her first husband Sultan Qutbuddin. Beside the fascinating construction lies a monument of domes supported with pillars raised over tomb of Rani Rupmati and other queens. This charming structure is a great example of Indo-Islamic style, and the whole place is truly alluring for the visitor. Now departing from one mosque, we are switching to another one locally known as Siddhi Sayyidni Jali. This is an eponymous mosque built in the last year of existence of Gujarat Sultanate. This 16th century mosque is the hallmark of African architectural legacy in India. African descendants called Siddhis joined armies of Sultan and rose to power as military commanders, becoming great patrons of art and architecture. One of them was Sheikh Said al-Habshi Sultani or Sidi Sayyid, who was the creator of this mosque. Sidi Sayyid Mosque is well known for the intricately carved lattice stone windows. There are about 10 of such windows or jalis on the side and rear arches. The one catching the attention is the lattice work resembling tree of life motif with intertwined trees and foliage. Known to be emblematic to the architectural beauty, this work has become the symbol of Gujarat's architectural grandeur. We are now outstretching ourselves to Bhadra Fort Square. This is the Bhadra Fort built by Ahmad Shah I, the founder of Ahmedabad in 1411. This fort was also known as Arak Fort. The fort complex was used as a royal court during his reign and later as a prison during British Raj. The Bhadra Fort tower clock was brought from London in 1849 and was installed here in 1878 by British East India Company. It was illuminated by kerosene lamp first and then was replaced by electric light in 1915. This Ahmedabad's first electric connection ceased to operate in 1960s. This massive fortified gate, counted as one of the gates of Ahmedabad, was built to serve as the principal eastern entrance. Moving towards east lies the Maidan Shah or King's Market. The Royal Square shows the statue of Sir Chinubhai Ranchhodlal, the first Hindu baronet of British India. The eastern entrance of the Royal Square shows the triple gateway known as Teen Darwaja. This egress from the Bhadra Fort was completed in 1415. And the golden hour, assembly of sun and the gloomy atmosphere over the gate reminds us of the inspirational phrase, "No matter how dark your cloud is, the sun in you will always outshine this darkness." The road beyond Teen Darwaja leads to the Mercantile Square, Manik Chowk. This vacant road on either side of Teen Darwaja is soon going to metamorphose into a congested marketplace full of vendors and customers. We are now approaching towards King Ahmad Shah I's mausoleum, locally known as Badshah No Hajiro. Ahmad Shah I was a Muzaffarid dynasty ruler and the establisher of this city, Ahmedabad. The memorial was completed by his son Muhammad Shah II, who is buried left to him, and to his right is the tomb of his grandson Qutbuddin Ahmad Shah II. Right opposite the entrance gate of this monument lies the entrance gate for Queen's Mausoleum, Rani no Hajiro. Courtyard here contains 8 marble tombs of Queens of Ahmad Shah I and other Gujarat Sultanate rulers. The sculpturing and complicated stone tracery is an amalgamation of Hindu, Jain, and Islamic architectural styles. Taking a short walk, we are proceeding towards Jama Masjid. Made up of yellow sandstone in 1424, the mosque complex is centered on a large rectangular courtyard. Center of the mosque has a tank for ritual ablution. West side to that is the main prayer hall, and the other 3 sides are lined by colonnade. The captivating pillars, wide open marble floored courtyard, beautiful alcoves, and the delightful carved roofs truly enhances the charm of this pious place. One can sense tranquility spread all over the place. Carefree from all these facts, this chipmunk seems to be enjoying their meal, sight of which is reminding us to have some taste of Ahmedabad. So, we are now having some Gujarati snacks. Patra, a vegetarian dish made up of stuffed colocasia leaves, and dhokla made from fermented batter of rice and chickpeas. Both proved appealing to the taste buds. With a satisfied tummy, let's continue the exploration by city biking. Riding across the city's most important infirmary, the Ahmedabad Civil Hospital shows us the efforts of the authorities to keep the city healthy. This government body is considered to be one of the Asia's largest hospitals. Running across the Idgah Circle, we are trundling through the micro neighborhood around the residential streets known as Pole or Chawls. Ahmedabad has managed to display these worth replicating examples of heritage conservation. Reaching to one of the bridges of Ahmedabad, the Subhas Bridge, we are taking a walk to take snaps of the site. On the right side of the bridge, we are looking at the thermal power station of Ahmedabad. And to our left is the adorable bright sunshine dancing in joy over the still flow of this majestic river Sabarmati. And it seems like the sun has melted the clouds like cotton candy. The main objectives of this waterfront called Sabarmati Riverfront are environment improvement, social infrastructure and sustainable development. Continuing our excursion, we are catching the glimpse of the revolving restaurant of Ahmedabad, Neelkant Pathang Hotel, which offers a panoramic view of the city while feasting on delicious food to the diners. We are now going to turn our bike to have a peek of the first bridge of Ahmedabad, named after British Commissioner Barrow Halbert Ellis, formerly known as Ellis Bridge. This gated narrow bridge is modified by adding new concrete wings on either sides. Reaching to the finishing line of riverfront, we are taking a halt and viewing the intoxicating azure at the sunset along the waterfront. What is a city but the people? The people of Ahmedabad are the true city. We can see people relaxing, refreshing, and recharging themselves with friends and family at the end of the day. We are ending our journey with a pleasing burst of gold on lavender melting into saffron. It's the time of day when the sky looks like it has been spray painted by graffiti artists. Thanks for joining us and do subscribe for more knowledge. Till then, Avjo.